Well, hi friends, welcome back to this week of Baking Through Betty, the series where I bake and cook my way through my grandmother's 1950s Betty Crocker color picture cookbook. It's not color. This week we are doing molasses patties. So, without further ado, let's get started. I just want to give an honorable mention to the necklace that I'm wearing today. My toddler made me this in preschool, and he asked me to wear it today, so here it is. Close to my heart. So I have you in a little bit different lens today. It's a wide angle lens, so if it looks a little weird or different, that's why. My hands look huge. And some different autofocus settings so that maybe we're not fighting with the focus not being quite right the whole time. I'm learning. Trying to learn and be better. So the first thing we're going to do is get 4 cups of Kix, which I hope I have. It does say Cheerios or Kix, but the only Cheerios I have are Honey Nut, and I still have Kix left over from, what was it, the first recipe? Yeah, so let's get those going. It's a little more than 4 cups, but it's going to have to do. And then 1.5 cups of salted peanuts. Okay, it said large bowl. I'm glad I picked a large bowl. Move that to the side. Next, we're going to mix together. I'm wondering if you can see the weird thing my lights are doing. You can, yes. And my battery's dying. Give me just a second. Okay. Hopefully I'm lined up back where I was. Let's, we'll find out here when I edit the video. Okay. All right, so without further ado, we are going to mix together in a large saucepan 1.5 cups of brown sugar, I know you're all probably wondering, like, why don't you just use a spoon? What's wrong with you? There's a lot wrong with me. If you've watched my channel for a while, you would know that. 1.5 cups brown sugar. 3/4 cup of light molasses. Does this say light anywhere on it? Maybe that's what unsulfured, or whatever that word says, means. I don't know that. I had to read the UPC code on the shelf at the store. Oh, no. Just a little trick for you all to know. 3/4 cup. Oh, good God. I hate the way molasses smells before it's baked. It is not pleasant to me. I do not love it. I hope I have more recipes with molasses in them. I guess I could just make gingerbread cookie. You know what? There's probably a gingerbread cookie recipe in this book. It'll get used for that. 1/2 cup water. 4 teaspoons vinegar. Right? One, 2, 3, 4. That felt very tedious. And 1/8 teaspoon of cream of tartar. So we are going to melt this. I'm going to use just over medium heat. And we are going to be using our candy thermometer this time. We're going to get it up to 250, not being silly little gooses like we were last time. You do want to stir occasionally. per the rules. And I'm just gonna let that do its thing. Oh, look, we're being active. We're at just about 200 degrees. So we have 50 more degrees to go. And that steam is coming right up into your face. If I stir, what happens? Will it calm down? Probably not. I am going to turn my heat down just a smidgen so that we don't overboil. I cannot see where the blue line is on my thermometer. That's nice. This is the thing I hate about cooking on a glass stove. The heat is not consistent, so you're just kind of like struggling with it the whole time to maintain constant temperature and, you know, heat evenly and everything else on the planet. And now I'm going to have an even bigger mess on my stove, and this is not fun. And we're almost at 225. And it's just going to want to continue to boil over like this, and I am not having a good time. The nice thing about watching this happen on video is that you don't have to smell this mess down here. So I switched it to the smaller burner. I was on the big burner on this, you know, double option over here, in hopes that it chills out. Now it does say stir occasionally, but I'm hoping that if I stir not occasionally and more often, it will not continue to do this. It is 12:27 a.m. for those of you curious about what time of day it might be, because I told you I always make these videos late. I got to sleep in quite a bit today, so I'm definitely not tired by any means, which is nice. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, so it was at 245, and then I stirred it for a half a second, and it went way above 250. Not way, but enough. And now we're going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to turn the heat off. And the soda makes the texture fluffy and porous. Oh, yes it does. I'm going to take it off the heat so that it doesn't continue to heat. It's almost like that's smart. What in the hell? Do you see this? That's crazy. The hard part is filming with one camera and trying to do things quickly. Okay. Now we're gonna mix it into here with a greased spoon. I see why they say greased, because I have a feeling this is going to be a fun mess. Yeah, that's interesting. Let that water run for just a second. Okay, so I have my greased spoon. I greased it with Crisco, because Crisco is like the best thing in the world. And then it says to cool slightly to thicken. Cool slightly to thicken. And then with greased hands, form into patties and cool on a greased baking sheet. This should make 3 dozen 2-inch patties. How much is 2 inches? 1, 2. About just over three fingers for me, okay? I'm using a silicone baking sheet rather than greasing this thing. I guess we will find out if that is a mistake or not. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and grease my hands with my Crisco. I did take my wedding ring off. Oh my God, okay. This feels disgusting and I hate it. And I hope that this is cool enough to touch. Yes, sort of. Okay, 2-inch patties. Doesn't say how thick. That's 2 inches. Okay. Okay, I have to let the middle of this mixture cool down a little bit because it's almost too hot. And they're sticking to each other more than me. Look, it's under my fingernails. Ugh. Okay, there it is. 2 dozen. There's some left in the bowl, but not much. So I made the patties on this end a little bit thinner, and obviously back here they get a little more thick. So I just needed to make these guys a little thicker, and then I would have had actually a pretty even 24. Whether or not I like how this tastes in the end, screw this recipe. Look at my bowl and my stove, and there's molasses underneath my fingernails, and I'm not a fan. I'm gonna let these cool down and harden and set, and I'll come back and try one. And we'll see. They're almost there. I'll give it another 10-15 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, it's now been roughly 30 minutes. It's now 1:39 in the morning, just to tell you how long this is kind of taking me. I'm gonna try a small one. And they're kind of sticky, but not like melt sticky. I guess I should. Did you see that? I almost touched you when I meant to touch the screen for the autofocus. That's not good. Don't do that. Like, maybe it would have been better with Cheerios, but I honestly don't see how much. I don't love how it tastes. I don't love the texture in my mouth. I don't love how it feels on my teeth. Like, it tastes like Kix and peanuts that stick to your teeth in a really obnoxious way. I'm sorry, Betty, but I just don't love this one. I just don't. I'm gonna put that down. Here's a close-up of how they look. Just a little aside, my mom asked me to make sure I cleaned my stove before I did this video, because she noticed it was a little not great looking in the last video, because I don't have a stove cleaning kit, so I really had to work at it tonight to get it clean. I need to buy a new kit. Well, Mom, I did clean my stove. It was clean. I'm not even gonna mess with this tonight. I'm not even gonna try. I have to go into town tomorrow morning. I am going to buy a stove cleaning kit, if I can remember. And I'll deal with this later, because I don't feel like doing it right now. At least, you know, just like the caramel recipes, the bowl and utensils and everything else were easy to clean. Because hot water will get rid of almost anything, but it doesn't get rid of that. It doesn't get rid of that. You know, regardless of the struggles that I had with this, sorry, the recipe is a flop. I'm not a fan. I don't love it. And nothing is a waste of time. It's always worth trying things. So, there you have it. Thanks for watching this week's Baking Through Betty. I will see you next week. Next week we are making fudge. Yay. Bye.